So you stated in your pre-show notes, girlfriends of mine who accept so much less. Forgive me if you already talked about that?
Okay, so what I meant in my pre-show notes, I guess, is I guess it was part of a broader, I thought it would be part of a broader conversation, but I guess my main point is that kind of returning to the traditional conversation in what girls who want to follow a traditional path think, they, I think, realign with what guys are willing to give, especially in this generation, because of non-traditional lifestyles and because of, I think, what they've been made to accept is really my point.
Yeah, I'd say, like, obviously not from me because I don't live the traditional lifestyle, which we have decided. But I do have loads of friends who have put up, and even before I got into this job, actually, when I did live the traditional lifestyle at university and all that kind of stuff, people do just kind of almost like want to be with somebody, and they'll take it and get treated really badly. And I think that is like something that it's sad when you see your like best friends go through that, because you're like, you're so much better, you're so much more worth that than how they're treating you. And I feel like some men just don't do it right.
Well, and I think that it's, I think it's on both sides. I think that, I see a lot of women not wanting to, they kind of go out, I just don't want to be lonely. Like, I'd rather be with someone than be lonely. And I think that ultimately is creates a settling culture. And then people see, social media, we have so much at our fingertips. We were not supposed to access this many people. We were supposed to be part of much smaller groups, and I think that it's changed the way that people look at things. People are statistically have never been lonelier.
I really don't feel like women's standards are too low. Gotta be honest with you.
No, I feel like some are very high, but I feel
No, hold on. This is for Alexis to respond to.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I just don't feel like women's standards are too low. If they're settling, they're probably actually not settling. They probably are generally getting somebody who's equally yoked with them. Generally, that's what that's been my observation.
I get what you're saying, and I tend to agree in some part. I think that people do get what they set out for, and what they, as I said, it's reciprocal. But I also think that girls might be giving a lot, or think that they're giving a lot, or live their life a certain way, and then they accept something that's much less than that.
Well, elaborate on that.
Well, I think people, I know girls who live a very traditional life, and they want to, give everything to their boyfriends, and, be very faithful, and have a lot of integrity, and be very trustworthy, and I can't say the same about their boyfriends, and that's...
Where are all those women?
Off of the internet.
Yeah. Well, I mean, honestly, like, where are all those women? Because right now, what you're talking about, there's guys out there who are watching this who would pay you whatever you wanted in order to go to wherever these women are that you're talking about.
Well, that's the thing, and then maybe that's the disparity. They're not on dating apps. They're not really on social media. They have like social media because they had it in college. It's just, that's kind of the thing. What's easily acceptable? What's on, readily available on YouTube or OnlyFans or whatever pod. It's not necessarily you're getting a hand selection of people who maybe that's not what you're seeing, which I understand. I'm not disagreeing with you.
I do think those women exist, but I do think that a majority of them just get brainwashed by their friends telling them that they don't need a man anymore, that doesn't give you what you want.
I agree.
So they just play into this like...
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I agree on the whole standards too low for women. They just have such low standards. It seems to be the opposite of what I see.
Here's the thing. I'm a big advocate for guys. I'm not knocking what guys are doing. I'm not like I'm the last person to carry the pitchfork on that. It's more just I think it's a generational problem where it perpetuates the issue. You see women settling for less. Nice guys think that there's and I'm not saying it starts there. I'm saying it's a circle. It starts the nice guy trope of, there's no nice guys out there, and the nice guys think they finished last, and then there's just, I just feel like there's a lot there being encouraged within the generation. I mean, I think so. I see it a lot. We do man on the streets. We talk to people. We talk about dating apps a lot. It's kind of what you find out there.
I still don't know what you're finding out there. I'm still confused. What is it that you're finding? That there's women who are giving too much of themselves to men, or being too I don't actually understand.
I guess what I'm saying is the way that the generation sets up how both of the genders are perceived. And I'm also going off of something that wasn't a prompt. We kind of had a back and forth, and my show notes were very brief, and so I'm kind of explaining something that I thought would be a broader conversation, and so I'm not really sure.
Okay.
I get where you're coming from.
Like,
though.
I'm not dissing guys. I think that guys often are the winners in this situation. I think there are a lot of good guys out there who do feel as though they can't find.
I think you're
good
right. It's like a
girls.
vice versa. Like girls go out there looking for someone. They can't find the high standards they've set, so they lower them in order to get into a relationship.
It's a never-ending cycle.
And then there's guys that go out there and they're like, they're looking for their traditional woman. They kind of can't find her, so they find like a less traditional woman, and that makes them sad too.
Yeah, and the internet, I mean, transparently is very sexualized, so I think guys think that they need to be doing more. Girls think that they need to be doing more. They keep one-upping each other until everyone thinks everyone's kinky, and it might just all be more normal than we think, but it's perpetuated by social media.
On the standards thing really quick, Nick, can you pull up in the Dropbox podcast infographics folder, it's the hypergamy infographics. And Alexis, to tie this back to the rating 1 to 10 question, which you chose to omit answering to, kind of how this is potentially tied into that is that you have, because you're saying that, well, women are lowering their standards, or they have low standards for men. But I actually think that women have way too high standards. Like, I don't think it's an issue of men having these crazy high standards and women having really low standards. I mean,
I agree with you. I completely agree. I was the one arguing reciprocity earlier, and normally standing up for guys. I think I was given an out of context prompt and nothing to go off of.
Wait, so are you, because you provided that in your pre-show notes, so I'm just going off of what you had written. You mentioned, your girlfriends were, I guess, kind of, wait, let me see, I don't want to misquote here, but you said your girlfriends of mine who accept so much less. It just occurs to me, for example, with the rating scale of the 1 to 10 thing is, a lot of women are kind of have an overinflated sense of self, of their own attractiveness or value in the dating marketplace, not their human value, but their value in the dating marketplace. And so they have an expectation of partnering with a man who, quite frankly, is out of their league. And that's why the question of asking someone to rate themselves on a scale of 1 to 10 is actually very important, because if you don't have an accurate self-assessment of where you potentially stand or do stand in the dating marketplace, then you're going to be shooting outside of your league. And this is where women get into trouble, because as a man, if I try to have casual sex, if I shoot my shot with a woman who's outside of my league, hey, let's have casual sex. That's not verbatim how I would go about it, but that's my angle. I get instant upfront rejection. I don't get a conversation with a girl who's out of my league. I don't get a date with a girl who's outside my league. I certainly don't get sex with a girl who's outside my league. Now, here's where women get into trouble. As women, men will welcome easy access to sex. So as a woman, you can secure sex from men who are outside of your league. It can be looks, it could be success, it could be socioeconomic status, whatever it may be. You can have a normal woman who's never achieved anything in her life having sex with a man who's at the apex of either looks, status. He could be a professional NBA player, NFL player, et cetera, et cetera. She could be I'm not making a judgment call on here, but she's a nobody, right? Mm-hmm. A nobody girl can go and sleep with an NFL, NBA player, famous rapper, Drake. Drake probably fucks a bunch of nobody women, no offense to them. They're probably beautiful, but nobody status.
Well.
So now, but those women who can sleep with men outside their league are never most likely going to be able to secure commitment from those men. So what ends up happening is you have women who they think they're here for women. Your league is not the men that you can sleep with. Your league is the men that you can get commitment from and who will marry you.
I wish I'd known that when I was like 14, 15, 16, 17, when I started like, unfortunately, like having sex, because Jesus Christ, that made a lot more sense why I never got a boyfriend.
Well, look, everybody wants the best that they can get. So obviously you want to get the hot guy, but here's the problem. That hot guy, okay, cool. I can use her for sex. And so again, that's the way a lot of women get into trouble. And here's the difference, right? So as a guy, if we can sleep with a girl, we can probably get that girl in a relationship. But as a woman, if you can sleep with a man, it's not clear to me if you can get him into a relationship. So, and also, we'll sleep with women and just using as a disqualifier, just based on looks. Just your looks, we will 100% disqualify you from a relationship, but we won't disqualify you from a sexual relationship. Whereas for women, it's the opposite. So for women, for you to sleep with a man, to have sex with a man, he typically has to be at least attractive enough for you to be in a relationship with him. So that's a big differential. That's where women get into trouble. And that's why the rating question is important, because if you don't have a good sense of where you stand, you're going to be aiming for guys outside of your league. You're going to get used. And
I also think that women tend to rate themselves off of self-esteem rather than off of physical looks.
Yeah.
This is what I've noticed many times is like, obviously there's women who I've seen in this show who have given ridiculous numbers in comparison to how they look. And when I ask them why, they basically say it's because for me it's self-esteem. What I'm telling you is the personification of how I feel about me. It's my self-esteem. That's not really what the question's asking, though.